Have you ever noticed how many times a day you use the word should when you think about yourself or others? The word has become a fixture in our conversation, but even more crazy is how many times we think of it. You know what I'm talking about. I should exercise more. I should have a cleaner home. I should stay in this job that I hate. I should be retired by now. If you're anything like me, you've probably spent a good part of your time trying to check off every should that somehow appeared on your life list. But by telling ourselves that we should be doing more or should be more, often doesn't motivate us to do more or be more. It only leaves us feeling like we're not enough. But what if we found a way to break free from all of those shoulds and finally started living the life we actually want? Oh, before I get carried away, YouTube guidelines say that I should introduce myself in the first 30 seconds of a film. So, hi, my name is Susan, and welcome to the channel. So what exactly are these shoulds? They're the nagging little rules that we think we somehow have to follow. Those invisible rules that society has pushed at us since we were children. How we should behave, where we should go to school, what we should do for our career, how many babies we should have, if we should have babies, the kind of car we should drive, the kind of clothes we should wear. And now society tells us when and how we should or should not retire. And don't even get me started on how we should age gracefully. What does that even mean? No more jeans? Are we only supposed to wear stretchy pants? Although, I have absolutely nothing against stretchy pants. I think it's wonderful that they're not only meant for women of a certain age anymore, but even worse than the shoulds that we've been hearing from society all our lives are the shoulds that are in our own inner dialogue, which are usually so much louder than the ones from outside. The ones that we tell ourselves, like, you should have figured this out by now. You should be more like your neighbor who exercises all the time and eats kale. It's exhausting, and we're doing it to ourselves. When we use the word should, we're often referring to things that we wish were so, but aren't. If we say to ourselves, I really should get more sleep, well, the unspoken follow-up to that is, but I don't. Likewise, if we say to ourselves, I really should have exercised this morning, then the obvious follow-up is, but I didn't. And the feeling that we're left with is a negative one, which is usually damaging and demotivating. Here's a fun exercise, and by fun I mean slightly uncomfortable. Get a piece of paper and write down the first few things that come to mind when you think, I should. Don't overthink it, just go with your gut. Now, look at that list and ask yourself, how do these shoulds make me feel? Are they energizing to you, or are they like a laundry list of someone else's expectations? Here are the first few of my very long list. I should exercise more. I should be on a better budget. I should try harder to be on time. Now think about where all of our shoulds on the list are coming from. Society, family, friends, or maybe just your own expectations from years ago. Pinpointing the source of these shoulds is key. A big culprit, of course, is social media, the land of curated lives and highlight reels. Let's be honest, scrolling through everyone else's highlight reel can make us feel like we're not measuring up. Are you following people who inspire you, or are you just feeling bad because they're baking sourdough from scratch while you're still trying to figure out your air fryer? So let's try to challenge these shoulds. Ask yourself, is this really serving me, or is it making me feel stuck? Is this really my belief, or did it sneak in or shove its way in from somewhere else? Does the idea of learning to paint at 60 sound exciting, or is it something you thought was a good idea because retired people take up new hobbies? Okay, so then let's look at the things we actually do want on our should list. For example, let's look at the phrase, I should work out more, I should lose weight. What if we replace the word should with could? I could work out more. I could be thinner. The word could gives us the choice to do something and eliminates the pressure that the word should carries. By replacing one word, it already starts to feel more empowering. Or what if we replace the word should with want? So let's change I should be on a budget to I want to have more savings in the bank. So sit with this new want statement and think if you really do want it. And if I really do want it, then how am I going to achieve it? Question your shoulds with why. Think of why you should be doing this or should be being that. For example, I should be thinner. Why? Because I feel the pressure to? Because everyone I follow on Instagram looks skinny? Because I used to be? Nope. None of these answers will get me motivated to follow through with that should, because they're coming from external sources, not from inside. It's also filled with critical self-judgment and negativity, so it's not ever going to happen. Okay, so I should work out more. Well, what's the why? Because I want to feel better. I want to be healthier. If that's really my answer, then I will prioritize how I'm going to do that. What really matters? What makes us feel like us? What does your heart tell you you should be doing? And you know, there are lots of people that don't even know what makes them happy. My suggestion is to think of a time when you felt so great and so happy and so fulfilled. What were you doing at that time? Where were you? What were your feelings attached to that time? And once you figure that out, it's a lot easier to say no to the shoulds that don't fit that feeling. This reminds me of something Bronnie Ware wrote in her book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. She was a palliative care nurse who spent years caring for people at the end of their lives. And she noticed a pattern when she asked them about what their top regrets were. The very top regret was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. That really hits home, doesn't it? Imagine being at the end of your life and realizing you lived for other people's expectations, the shoulds that they imposed upon your life, instead of being true to yourself and your desires and wants. That's the kind of wake-up call that can change everything. We have to be true to ourselves. That's the only path that leads to contentment. And it feels way more satisfying than ticking off someone else's checklist. When you stop chasing what you should be doing and start embracing who you really are, that's when life starts to feel right. Ditching the shoulds isn't selfish or reckless. It's giving yourself permission to live your life exactly as you'd like to, without any justification required. And even if that means making some bold choices, or even if that means living a life that's incredibly boring by other people's standards, you do you. It's your life. And life is too short for it to be ruled by anyone else's shoulds. Removing the word should from our internal conversations and thoughts takes a lot of time and practice. But it is possible, and it comes with great rewards. What shoulds are you ready to let go of? Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm so glad that you did. Please like and subscribe so that I can grow my channel. And I apologize for telling you something that you should do, but I hope you do something today that brings you peace and positivity and joy. Until next time, take care.